They carry one of the most respected names in farming, but not every Massey Ferguson tractor deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. Some models turned out to be pure frustration with unreliable hydraulics, weak engines, and electronics that just wouldn't cooperate. Even the best brands make mistakes, and today we're looking at their biggest ones. In this video, we're counting down the 10 worst Massey Ferguson tractors of all time. Machines that promised a lot, but failed to deliver. If you've ever owned one of these, you probably know the struggle. And if you haven't, consider yourself lucky. Massey Ferguson 135 Diesel. The MF 135 is often praised for its reliability, but the diesel variant released in some markets raised plenty of eyebrows. Owners complained about cold starting issues, even with glow plugs functioning properly. Once running, the engine emitted excessive smoke and had a rough idle that didn't improve with tuning or maintenance. These issues made early mornings in cold weather a consistent hassle for users. Fuel injection systems in these models were particularly finicky. Clogged injectors and failing pumps were common and often expensive to replace. Add in inconsistent power output, and you had a machine that made simple tasks unnecessarily difficult for operators. These mechanical flaws undermined its reputation and made it an unreliable choice for daily farm work. Another frustration came from the lack of parts availability over time. As other models rose in popularity, sourcing key components for the diesel 135 became increasingly difficult. This not only increased costs, but also caused delays in repairs, which meant valuable downtime during critical farming periods. For small operations, this could mean missed opportunities and extra expenses. Despite its reputation, this version of the 135 didn't live up to expectations. For a tractor marketed as dependable, it left too many farmers disappointed. And while some managed to make it work, most agreed it wasn't worth the hassle. The model's inconsistency left a stain on what should have been a workhorse legacy. Massey Ferguson 165 Multipower, the MF 165 Multipower, seemed like a dream with its 2-speed power shift, but in reality, it became a maintenance nightmare. The multi-power transmission was prone to slipping and internal failures, especially under heavy loads or frequent gear changes. Many owners were forced to rebuild or replace the unit entirely within a few years. That added expense quickly turned the tractor into a bad investment. Hydraulic performance wasn't much better. Leaks and slow response times were common complaints, particularly with older machines. Electrical issues in the dash cluster and lighting system made things worse, especially during night work or in colder climates. These recurring problems turned everyday chores into frustrating delays. The additional complexity introduced by the multi-power system created more points of failure. Unlike simpler versions of the 165, the added technology wasn't robust enough for rough use. Instead of adding convenience, it added anxiety to every shift, with operators never knowing when a failure might occur. While the base 165 was decent, the multi-power version added more complexity than benefit. Farmers looking for a tough workhorse often found themselves facing downtime and repair bills instead. It turned out to be a tractor that required more attention than output. In hindsight, the simpler mechanical version was the wiser choice. Massey Ferguson 1085. The MF 1085 was designed for mid-sized farm operations, but quickly gained a reputation for being underpowered and unreliable. The Perkins engine often struggled under moderate loads, with overheating becoming a frequent issue. Cooling system flaws were never fully resolved and led to engine damage over time. These breakdowns often happened during peak seasons, making them especially painful. On top of that, the tractor's rear end was notoriously weak. Final drive failures and axle wear were reported by many long-time users. With parts availability declining over time, maintenance became both frustrating and expensive. The added time and money spent on repairs made it difficult for farmers to justify keeping the machine. Operator comfort was also lacking. The cab design was cramped and lacked modern suspension or noise dampening. This made long hours in the seat uncomfortable and even physically taxing. Unlike newer models, the 1085 didn't offer much in terms of user-friendly design. Many farmers retired the 1085 early or kept it only for light-duty tasks. Its initial promise was quickly overshadowed by persistent mechanical issues. What was meant to be a dependable machine turned into a constant repair project. In many cases, it was simply not worth the upkeep. Massey Ferguson 5465 Dyna 4. This model came with high expectations but failed to deliver on multiple fronts. The Dyna 4 transmission was supposed to provide smooth shifting, but often suffered from jerky transitions and occasional gear lockouts. Diagnostic errors made repairs difficult and time-consuming, especially in remote settings. For a machine marketed as advanced, its flaws were unacceptable. The electronic controls also presented problems. Users frequently reported faulty sensors, malfunctioning displays, and system resets that interrupted field operations. These issues left many farmers frustrated and dependent on technicians to solve routine malfunctions. It became known for its unpredictable behavior in critical situations. Service costs were another sore point. Because of the complexity, many users found that even basic repairs required dealership intervention. Labor charges for diagnostics and replacements added up quickly, making the tractor a financial burden in the long run. Simpler models without electronics often proved more cost-effective. While the comfort and design were praised, reliability concerns made it a tough sell. Many operators traded theirs in for simpler, more dependable models after repeated setbacks. Unfortunately, the 5465 didn't earn the trust it needed in the field. Its advanced systems became more of a liability than a benefit. Massey Ferguson 3680, the MF 3680, was one of the more powerful models of its time, but power didn't equal durability. Engine reliability was a key issue with reports of piston failures and head gasket problems. Over time, this model developed a reputation for being a high-maintenance machine. Even with upgrades, many issues persisted. Transmission and rear axle failures were also noted. Gearbox synchronization was poor, and operators found gear changes rough or unresponsive under load. Combined with subpar hydraulics, it didn't meet expectations for performance. Repairs were both costly and time-intensive. Fuel efficiency also left much to be desired. Compared to other tractors in the same power range, the 3680 consumed more diesel without delivering superior performance. This inefficiency added to the frustration of owners already dealing with frequent repairs. Despite advanced features for the era, the 3680 often required more maintenance than most farmers could justify. It became a cautionary tale for those seeking both power and longevity. Many users moved on to sturdier, more reliable alternatives. The model's promise never translated into consistent results. Massey Ferguson 1135. The MF 1135 was introduced with the goal of delivering big power to medium and large-scale farms, but many users quickly found themselves let down. Its 8-speed transmission had poor synchronization and was clunky under pressure, which made fieldwork more of a chore than a breeze. Shifting between gears often resulted in grinding or missed gears, frustrating operators on the job. The engine, while powerful on paper, was plagued with reliability issues. Oil leaks, head gasket failures, and overheating were recurring problems that kept many units in the shop rather than in the field. Cooling system failures in particular caused concern during extended use, especially in warmer climates. Cab design also lacked comfort and refinement. Noise insulation was minimal, leading to loud, fatiguing workdays. The controls were poorly laid out, making operation less intuitive than its competitors. For a machine of its size, these drawbacks became major inconveniences over time. Though the MF1135 may have seemed impressive on spec sheets, its performance in the field told a different story. What could have been a dependable powerhouse became a costly and frustrating experience for many. Users expected more from a tractor positioned at this level. Massey Ferguson 3070. Launched with a sleek design and modern control features, the MF 3070 raised hopes, but its reliability fell short. The electronic lift controls, a highlight feature, were prone to glitching or complete failure. When they failed, it meant operators had to resort to manual workarounds or costly diagnostics. Its 16-speed transmission suffered from abrupt shifting and occasional lockups. Many users reported having to repair or replace transmission components within a few seasons. This added maintenance cut into productivity and profit margins. For small farms, it was a risk. Hydraulic systems on the MF3070 were also weak points. Leaks and poor pressure performance led to underwhelming implement handling. When reliability is everything during planting or harvesting, the 3070's hiccups couldn't be overlooked. Overall, while it looked ahead of its time, the MF3070 failed to live up to the promise. Its flashy features didn't make up for a lack of dependability. Owners looking for long-term value often found themselves disappointed and burdened with extra costs. Massey Ferguson 294. The MF294 was intended to be a simple and rugged utility tractor, but many users discovered significant flaws in both its design and durability. One of the most common complaints involved the clutch, which wore out quickly under routine use. Replacements were frequent and often expensive, especially for smaller operations. The engine, while decent at low workloads, lacked the stamina for demanding tasks. Many owners found the tractor stalled under heavier implements or when climbing inclines, limiting its effectiveness on varied terrain. As a result, it became more of a backup machine than a reliable daily driver. Additionally, the MF294 lacked proper weatherproofing in several areas. Wiring and connectors were vulnerable to moisture, leading to corrosion and electrical issues. This made the tractor particularly unreliable in wet or humid environments where downtime could be critical. Though affordable and easy to operate, the MF294's weaknesses outweighed its strengths. For farmers needing dependable, long-term use, this model simply didn't meet the mark. Its lack of staying power relegated it to the bottom tier of Massey Ferguson's offerings. Massey Ferguson 4270, the MF4270, was part of Massey Ferguson's effort to modernize its utility tractor line. But poor execution hindered its success. One of the biggest issues stemmed from its electronics. Faulty dashboards and unreliable warning systems created constant uncertainty for users, sometimes causing them to miss real problems. The Perkins engine on this model, while powerful, suffered from fuel system irregularities. Hard starting and uneven idling were frequent complaints, often requiring multiple service visits to correct. Even then, issues would resurface after moderate use. The hydraulic lift system was also prone to inconsistency. Operators reported slow or jerky lifting when using attachments, disrupting workflow. Combined with a stiff and uncomfortable ride, the 4270 failed to offer the ease of use that many had hoped for. Although visually appealing and promising on paper, the MF4270 lacked the durability and finesse needed for tough farm work. Owners often traded it in early, unable to justify the frustration it caused. It was a reminder that good intentions don't always lead to good tractors. Massey Ferguson 6270, the MF6270, entered the market as a mid-range workhorse, but it didn't take long for users to encounter serious flaws. Its Dynashift transmission system was notorious for sudden gear loss and delayed shifting. This created dangerous situations in hilly terrain or during heavy towing, frustrating experienced operators. Many also criticized the electrical system, which was riddled with sensor faults and grounding issues. Lights, dash readouts, and warning indicators were frequently unreliable. These failures made it difficult to trust the tractor during long hours in the field. Beyond that, the fuel efficiency was underwhelming. Owners often reported high consumption without the expected performance return. Combined with high service costs, the model became an expensive machine to keep running. In the end, the MF6270 offered potential, but lacked the consistency farmers need. Repeated electronic and mechanical issues kept it from becoming a dependable tool. Instead, it became a cautionary tale for those who prioritized features over proven reliability. Even the most trusted names in farming have their missteps, and this list proves that not every Massey Ferguson is built to last. Have you ever owned one of these models or had a different experience? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy videos like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more straight-talking takes on the best and worst in farming equipment.